Welcome in. Happy you're here with us on this Friday evening. There's a lot to be happy about today, I guess, depending on how you look at things. A deal was reached with the debt ceiling. President Biden just spoke about a crisis averted ahead of his planned signing of the deal. And then unemployment numbers, they're not too bad today, actually. So we'll get you caught up on the news of the day in just a second. First, I want to start off here in California, because when it rains, it pours, just like the storms that we saw this year. And now that we're just a little bit closer to summer, we are learning another home insurance provider is fanning the flames. Allstate has stopped accepting new policies in California because of wildfires, among other things. So you already know we're bringing in Becca Hobegger with tonight's main point.
You know, Alex, if you buy a home in California and you're looking for an insurance policy, don't look to Allstate, State Farm, or AIG. AIG got out of California's homeowners insurance market altogether, whereas Allstate and State Farm are keeping their current homeowners insurance policies, just not taking new ones. Now, for many people in the state, this is a familiar story.
We keep our property pretty well clear.
Back in 2019, I spoke with Laura and Charlie Callahan, who'd owned their home in El Dorado County for more than 25 years.
We had our homeowners insurance for over 20 years, and we got the letter, as people refer to it, and we were canceled. I'm now paying 4 times what I was paying before. It's gone from less than $1,000 a year to almost $4,000 a year.
At the time, California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara was holding town hall forums, hearing from people living in the foothills who were finding their homeowners insurance policy canceled or the cost sharply increased.
So you went from $24.83 a year.
Yeah, to it would be $48.85.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
In other words, it won't surprise folks in the foothills and other rural, more wildfire-prone areas to hear that now State Farm, Allstate, and AIG have stopped offering new homeowners insurance policies in California, with AIG leaving the homeowners insurance market here altogether. Allstate paused new homeowners, condo, and commercial insurance policies in California last year so we can continue to protect current customers, a spokesperson told us. State Farm stopped taking new applications, including all business and personal lines property and casualty insurance effective May 27th, the company said. The California Department of Insurance says current customers will not lose their insurance and people are still able to renew their existing policies. State Farm added they made this decision due to historic increases in construction costs outpacing inflation, rapidly growing catastrophe exposure, and a challenging reinsurance market.
The insurance that we all never want to use, we had to rely on, and State Farm was one of the big companies that had to pay claims because that's the business they're in.
While Allstate and State Farm are now limiting operations in California, more than 100 companies are still offering homeowners insurance in the state, though the Department of Insurance says it depends on the home's features, its wildfire risk score, and the community in which it's located.
Some people are paying more for their homeowners insurance than they are for their mortgages.
And the thing is, this isn't just happening in California. This is happening in some other states as well, right?
Yeah, you know, Louisiana and Florida, those are both good examples. They are, the Insurance Information Institute says dozens of insurers have chosen to pull out of Louisiana because of historic record levels of hurricane activity over the last few years. And in Florida, the Institute says things like litigation and too many fraudulent roof replacement schemes have led to insurers deciding to no longer write homeowners insurance policies in that state. And, you know, for more information on this story, including where you can find insurers near you, you can head to abc10.com/tothepoint.
Thank you, Becca. We appreciate it. All right, fire season might not just be in full swing yet, but it's coming. Our team of meteorologists have been watching the data and conditions. The state has not dried out just quite yet from our historic winter. Research shows that fire season, it's getting longer. Our region in particular is also seeing more fire days.
Fire weather days are the hot, dry, windy days that you see that really promote the kind of extreme and severe fire behavior that we've been seeing over the past few years.
The team at Climate Central looked out how the number of fire weather days have changed over the last 50 years. In the Sacramento region, they have seen an average increase of 2 weeks. And then in the San Joaquin Valley area, they have seen an increase of about 16 days. All right, as promised, I do want to get you caught up in some of the other news of the day because a lot happened on this Friday. Here's what else people are talking about. A baby was stolen in Rancho Cordova this afternoon. Someone carjacked the mother's car and then left the baby on a nearby curb. The car was found at a gas station about 3 miles away from where it was taken. A person was arrested, and that baby, thankfully, is okay. San Joaquin County Fair is back in Stockton. It's the season for fairs, so if you want to enjoy all things music, livestock, fair food, carnival rides, head to the San Joaquin County Fairgrounds this weekend from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Don't forget your sunscreen. And also, it's Pride Month, but it does not come without backlash. This was the scene outside of a California elementary school today. Parents protested an LGBTQ event that was being held at the school. Large signs read, quote, "Leave our kids alone." And Pride is held every June to celebrate the LGBTQ community and its history, knowing there are hurdles to still overcome.
In the 1950s, gays and lesbians began to form the first civil rights groups that protested discrimination by the federal government. Among them, Bayard Rustin, a gay man who worked with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and helped organize the 1963 March on Washington. In 1966, transgender women and drag queens staged demonstrations at Compton's cafeteria in San Francisco, protesting ongoing police harassment. In the early hours of June 28, 1969, LGBTQ+ patrons at the Stonewall Inn in New York City fought back after an unprovoked police raid. This sparked what is now the modern-day gay civil rights movement. November 1978, after leading a successful campaign to defeat an anti-gay proposal, San Francisco Supervisor Harvey Milk was gunned down along with Mayor George Moscone in City Hall. In 1994, Don't Ask, Don't Tell became the official U.S. policy on military service for LGBTQ+ people. Its repeal took effect in September 2011. 1999, October, in Wyoming. College student Matthew Shepard was attacked, tied to a fence in a field, and left to die because he was gay. His death part of what led to federal hate crime legislation. Also in 1999, a Vermont court said the state had to allow civil unions. In May of 2004, same-sex marriages were made legal in Massachusetts. The same happened in California a month later, but stopped in November after voters passed Proposition 8. A series of U.S. Supreme Court decisions in 2013 and 2015 made it legal nationwide. During the Trump administration, LGBTQ+ civil rights protections were rolled back in numerous ways, including protections for transgender students. So far in 2023, more than 530 anti-transgender laws have been proposed in state legislatures across the country. Many passed. Some 250 years of progress and rollbacks, privileges allowed, rights denied, equality still the desire of those who want to live their lives fully and love freely.
ABC 10 will be featuring stories of Pride throughout the month of June, and we want to hear from you. What does Pride Month mean to you? You can text us at 916-321-3310. Coming up next on To The Point, addressing gun violence. A Grant Union high school student just about to graduate was shot and killed. So many senseless acts, but what's being done about it?
Temperatures warming into the 90s this weekend and a major cool down headed our way. How low temperatures are expected to drop.
And it's Friday, so you know we're hitting the back roads near Monterey to see what's called the jewel of the state park system.
Let me show you my amazing view that I have this morning out here on the ocean.
Why this spot is an inspiration for a better future. All right, let's get a check of our weather. A little bit warmer today than it was yesterday.
Yeah, it is 2 to about 6 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. And that warming trend, it'll continue through the weekend as we're seeing some 90-degree temperatures expected. And right now in the Big Mountain backyard, beautiful, a little breezy out there. But temperatures are already in these mid-80s with 86 in Sacramento and Stockton, 83 Modesto with 87 in Marysville, 65 degrees right now in Tahoe. Now, a lot of people graduating, not just tonight, but really for the next couple of weeks. And tonight, though, if there's a graduation you're headed to, we are seeing temperatures around 84 degrees at 7:30-ish, mostly sunny skies. By 9, though, mostly clear, temperatures reaching around 73 degrees. Now, this weekend, we do expect to get really hot out there, and I'm talking 90-degree temperatures. We've been in the lower 80s pretty much most of the week, but check this out, 90 degrees, that means we could get to about 109 within a matter of 10 minutes, about 119 in 20 minutes, and in 133 by 60 minutes. You have to remember pets, people, and children, especially in these hot temperatures. Even if you thought you were going to step out for just a few minutes. It's so easy to forget things. But as we take a look here, we may see some Sierra thunderstorm chances developing into your Saturday afternoon, mostly for the Sierra. If you had plans to head up there, just be aware of that. Now, we are tracking some of those thunderstorm chances really throughout the weekend, but it's not really until we get to about Tuesday. We may even see a chance for an upper level low moving some of that rain potentially into the valley. Still 50-50, not 100%, but we're just tracking that just so you know. That's why also we're seeing temperatures expected to drop as we get into Tuesday. Upper 80s, low 90s in the foothills, and that 10-day forecast will bring us temperatures in the low 90s for the weekend with low 80s by Tuesday, mid to low 80s next week.
Coming up, a crisis averted. President Biden speaking from the Oval Office about the debt ceiling, what it means for all of us.
I immigrated from my country here to America to feel safe. And the fact that I have to fear for my life.
Very emotional moments outside the state capitol today. People around the country are raising orange flags to bring awareness about one growing killer in America: gun violence. The nonprofit Every Town for Gun Safety estimates that each year in the U.S., 19,000 kids are shot and 3 million are exposed to gun violence. And law enforcement typically sees a spike in gun violence during the warmer months. Like last night, a family accepted their loved one's high school diploma. Billy Scott was shot and killed just hours before his graduation ceremony, so his family had to accept it on his behalf. He was in a car with 2 other people. The shooting happened just blocks away from the high school.
Little brother, he was such a joy to be around, such a ball of fun, a ball of laughter. He was so amazing, and our family's completely at a loss.
In Sacramento, nonprofits are looking for more funding to provide intervention and prevention programs for kids. A big day today in Washington. President Biden is celebrating a, quote, crisis averted after Congress passed a deal on the debt ceiling, meaning the government will not default on its debt. The president spoke about the deal from the Oval Office just today. The agreement is projected to cut the federal deficit by about $1.5 trillion over the next 10 years. Now, hardline Republicans wanted more budget cuts paired with higher defense spending, and then progressive Democrats argued the president should never have negotiated to begin with. But Biden says something needed to happen.
No one got everything they wanted, but the American people got what they needed. We averted an economic crisis, an economic collapse.
And Wall Street was happy today. The job market is better than economists expected. Over 300,000 jobs were added last month. Wages are also up 0.3% for the month. And the big takeaway, though, this report could mean rising interest rates, which of course means it could get even more expensive to get a loan or pay that interest on your credit card. And every Friday, we hit the backroads of California. This week, John Bartel takes us to the Monterey Coast to see what is called the jewel of the state park system.
For years, world-class photographers Edward Weston and Ansel Adams patrolled the rocky coves and ancient cypress forests of Point Lobos for that perfect picture. Point Lobos State Natural Reserve has often been called the crown jewel of the California state park system, and for good reason.
This place oozes awe, and so wherever you go, whether that's across Whalers Cove or to the South Shore to Bird Island, Sea Lion Point, there's just so many beautiful places here, and it's hard not to be impressed.
Alec Knapp is a state park interpreter with the Ports program. It's his job to give internet live stream lessons about the nature in the park.
Let me show you my amazing view that I have this morning out here on the ocean.
As beautiful as this place is, it's also Alec's job to explain the ugly past of Point Lobos.
This was a place where they did sea otter hunting, whaling. It was an industrial business park.
Inside the historic whalers cabin, you'll learn about the atrocities that humans committed on Point Lobos in the late 1800s. Coal mining, abalone canneries, and deforestation of the rare Monterey cypress destroyed the ecosystem. But Point Lobos was most known for its whale hunting industry.
This is what we call a tripod, where they would render down the whale blubber and make into lamp oil.
Before kerosene and electricity, lamps ran off melted animal fat, and melted whale blubber was the most popular.
Here, the Carmel Whaling Company slaughtered about 75 whales.
The whale hunters at Point Lobos were often immigrants from the Azore Islands near Portugal. They were skilled hunters that harpooned whales in small boats.
It was not clean. It wasn't a one shot, then they were killed. It was torture.
Until the early 1900s, there were about 16 whaling companies along the Monterey coast. The hunting went on for more than 40 years until cheaper petroleum-based lamp oil put the whalers out of business.
There is a huge dent and impact in the whale population worldwide, and to this day, they're still recovering.
By the 1920s, a new industry moved into Point Lobos.
Hollywood definitely had its impact on Point Lobos, so over 50 movies were filmed here at Point Lobos, including the first $1 million set.
That $1 million set was built for the 1929 film Evangeline, and when it was burned in the movie, it caused a wildfire.
It burned down several trees and much of the surrounding landscape as well, so it did more damage than they planned on.
Following that fire, movie production was limited at Point Lobos. The last Hollywood production permitted to film here was the 1989 Tom Hanks classic, Turner and Hooch. In 2007, the Department of Fish and Game expanded the ecological reserve and renamed the park Point Lobos State Marine Reserve. This gave greater protection to the ecosystem and made it illegal to take a wide range of fish, birds, and marine animals.
It's nice to know that a place that was once disrupted and destroyed can return and ascend to such beauty that everyone can enjoy. So I think it's an inspiration for a better future.
From the Whalers Cabin at Point Lobos State Reserve, I'm John Bartell. Hope to see you on the Backroads.
You can always find more Backroads stories on abc10.com/backroads. We can also send a map straight to your phone to help you plan your next road trip adventure. Just text Backroads to 916-321-3310. Coming up after the break, Black entrepreneurship is finding success. The change is happening at South Sacramento's Florence Square, also known as Black Wall Street. ABC 10's Race and Culture series, Sacramento's Black Wall Street, has been nominated for an Emmy. The series aired right here on To The Point, and tonight we have an update. We screened this series at the Florence Square Shopping Center in South Sacramento and had a panel of community leaders discuss the needs and challenges of Black entrepreneurs. As a result of the screening, the Black Entrepreneurship Success Academy was created, also known as BESA. It's a 13-week course in Sacramento that provides Black entrepreneurs with a range of skills to help grow their business.
It's very difficult to figure out what you can do to build, scale, sustain a business. And I think that's where we come in. We alleviate that. You don't have to worry about that. We're going to take care of you. We're going to show you how to do it. We're going to give you practical things to do that, all in the midst of you living your life, but kind of moving you along.
The first group of students graduated from the academy in April, and it was such a success that they're launching the next course early July. The deadline to apply for Black Entrepreneurship Success Academy is June 10th. We do have more information up on our website right now, abc10.com. And we are committed to telling stories that reflect our diverse communities. Let us know what is happening in your community. You can text To The Point and the Race and Culture team at 916-321-3310. And coming up on To The Point on Monday, representation, it really matters. I know we always talk about this, and that's why Rockland resident Tuba Undaniha had just written a children's book called Me Mommy Mantu. And mantu is a popular Afghan dish similar to dumplings, but the book is more than just about food.
One of my other intentions was also to shed a positive light on Afghans. So much has gone on in Afghanistan, and I just didn't want us to always be defined by war.
You can catch this story and much more Monday night on To The Point right here at 6:30. We hope you have a great weekend. To The Point will be at the Emmy Awards tomorrow night. ABC 10 received 28 award nominations for excellence in journalism. We'll keep you updated on what happens, and we appreciate you watching so much. Have a great night and a safe weekend. Make sure you wear your sunscreen, stay hydrated. It's going to be warm. See you later. Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.